Hello student, myself Digan Sakhiwala. I am your science sir. Today we will continue chapter number 9, Heredity and Evolution. Dear student, today we are going to learn about the evolution. We will learn about the variation in population. We will learn about the speciation. So we will start. Evolution. Evolution can be defined as a naturally occurring, slow, continuous and irreversible process of change. Okay, so it is what? Evolution is what? A naturally occurring, slow, continuous and irreversible process of change. Irreversible means once the change occurs, it will not take place in the backward direction. The gradual change of living organism from pre-existing organisms since the beginning of life is called the organic evolution. So what is called organic evolution? Organic evolution, in that we can include the evolution in the living being. Okay, so the gradual change of living organism from pre-existing organisms since the beginning of life is called the organic evolution, whereas the gradual changes in element from one form to another with time are termed as a inorganic evolution. So inorganic evolution, in that we can consider the element, compound or universe, non-living thing. Okay, so inorganic evolution, in that the gradual change in the element from one form to another with the time are termed as the inorganic evolution. Variation in population. Consider a group of 12 red beetles lives in the bush with the green leaves. They are preyed upon a cows. Many situations can develop in this population. So here we consider the three situations are there. Situation number 1, situation number 2, situation number 3. Okay, variation in the population. Consider a group of 12 red beetles are there and they lives in a bush with the green leaves. They are preyed upon the cows. Many situations can develop. Okay, situation number 1. In the first situation, a color variation arises during the reproduction. One beetle develops a green body color. Okay, because of the adaptation to avoid some bird that they eat the beetle, so beetle acquire the color of leaf, green color. Okay, so in the first situation, a color variation arises during reproduction. One beetle develops a green body color. Okay, crows cannot locate the green beetles in the green bush, hence the number of green beetles increases as compared to the red beetles. So initially the red beetles are there and 12 among them, the one is get the color of green color. Okay, and so because of that, crow cannot locate the green beetle. Not only crow, we can take any other example of bird. So crow cannot locate the green beetle because it has the color of leaf. Hence the number of the green beetles increases as compared to the red beetles. In this case, natural selection is exerted by the crows, an individual more suited to the environmental survive. So to survive in the environment, the beetle color is become a green and it is called the natural selection. In this case, the natural selection is exerted by the crows and individuals more suited to environment to survive. Situation number 2. One beetle develops a blue color. Blue and red both are detected by the crows and eaten. If the calamity strikes, example an elephant stamp on the bush and by chance only one blue beetle survive, then their number of increases. So suppose one beetle develop a blue color, then blue and red colors both are identified by the crow or any other bird, so they are eaten by the any other bird or crow, so their population are increases. Okay, same way if calamity strike, example an elephant stamp on the bush and by chance only blue beetle survive, then their number are increases. So here what happened, condition is apply. Okay, so suppose by mistake elephant strike on that and blue beetle survives, then population of or number of blue beetles are increased. This random change in the gene frequency occurring by chance irrespective of it being beneficial or harmful is called the genetic drift. So here we can say that this term genetic drift is what? Genetic drift, in that accidentally, okay, accidentally the blue color beetles are increases, their population is increases, that is called the genetic drift. The random change in the gene frequency occurring by chance irrespective of being beneficial or harmful is called the genetic drift. So first thing in that we learn about the natural selection. Okay, that beetles try to get the color of green color to survive in the environment. Second condition in that what happened, by chance irrespective of being beneficial or harmful, Okay, some species are survive, that is called the genetic drift. Situation number 3, when a bush develop a disease, food for the beetle reduces due to the scarcity of food. Beetles are poor nourished. The average weight of the beetle decreases. When the scarcity is over, the average weight of the beetle is increased. So bush produce a disease, and because of that reason the food is not available for the beetles. At that time the weight of the beetles are decreases, but as the scarcity is over, the average weight of beetle is again increased. Okay, this is the situation number 3. Acquired and inherited traits. There are two type of traits are there, acquired and inherited traits. There are two kind of traits. Acquired traits, these are the traits which are developed in an individual due to the special condition. Okay, so acquired traits are produced because of what? Special condition. They cannot be transferred to the progeny. They are not transferred to the progeny, means they are not going from the one generation to the another generation. They cannot go for the evolution. Example, low weight of the starving beetle. Okay, so low, we can say that when the food is not available and because of that reason the beetle weight is reduced, that is included in the acquired trait. As the condition is proper, again the beetle get the food, then again their weight is increases. Another is what? Inherited traits. These are the traits which are passed from one generation to the next. So this trait, that is called inherited trait, it will pass from the one generation to the another generation. They get transferred to the progeny. They are helpful in the evolution. Example, color of hair and the eye. So here what happened, whatever the traits are there, they are going from one generation to another generation. They are called the inherited traits. Example is hair and eyes. Dear student, we are going to learn about the speciation. Okay, the process of origin of new species is called the speciation. Various factors contribute in this process. So from the green beetles we know that red beetles are obtained, or from the red greens are there, or some other colors of other organisms are produced according to environmental conditions. That is called the speciation. Gene flow, it occurs between the population that are partly but not completely separate. It is the transfer of genetic variation from one population to another by means of immigration. So because of the immigration, there is a genetic variation produced from one population to another. Okay, and it occurs between the population that are partly but not completely separated. Okay, two beetles groups are there, they are not totally separated, they have some different characteristic or traits are there. In that gene flow possible. Okay, it occurs between the population that are partly but not completely separated. It is the transfer of genetic variation from one population to another by means of immigration. Genetic drift, it is the random change in the frequency of allele in population over the successive generation. So some genes are added in the new generation, so it is the random change in the frequency of allele, okay, gene pair in the population over the successive generation. Natural selection, the process by which the nature selects and consolidates those organisms which are more suitable, adapted and possess the favorable variation. Here we discuss about the natural selection in the first situation. In that to avoid the crow, some beetle adopted the green color of their body. Okay, so that is included in the natural selection, the process by which the nature selects and consolidates those organisms which are more suitable, adapted and possess the favorable variation. And because of this green color, crow cannot eat the beetle. Geographic isolation, it is caused by the mountain range, river, etc. Geographic isolation leads to reproductive isolation, due to which there is a no flow of gene between the separate group of a population. So here you can see that geographical isolation, it is caused by the mountain range and rivers. Okay, mountain range and rivers. Geographical isolation lead to reproductive isolation, as well as it lead to what? Total reproductive isolation occur, due to which there is a no flow of genes between the separate group. So there is a no flow of genes between the two separate group of a population. They are totally separated. In most of the cases, new species are formed when the population of the same species split into the two separate groups, which then get isolated from each other geographically by the barriers such as mountain ranges. So suppose there is a group of beetles are there, and one beetle is accidentally go with the crow, okay, and it dropped at the mountains, or more than two or three beetles are there that accidentally stick with the crow and accidentally drop at the somewhere at the mountains, then they have the different type of populations are produced. Okay, that we can discuss in the geographic isolation. The geographical isolation of the two group of population leads to their reproductive isolation because no genes are exchanged between them. And because of the geographical isolation of two group of population lead to their reproductive isolation. Total reproductive isolation occur because no genes are exchanged between them. However, breeding continues within the isolated population, producing more generation over the generation. The process of genetic drift and natural selection operate in a different way in two isolated groups. Population make them more and more different from each other. Okay, so here genetic drift and natural selection, they make natural selection operate in different way in two isolated group of population, make them the more and more different from each other. After 1,000 years, the individual of this group of population became so different that they will be incapable of reproducing with each other even they have happen to meet again. So what happens? Suppose both the two different beetle groups are isolated from 1,000 years, okay, or many years are there, not 1,000 years, or many years are there, and they are totally isolated or totally separated, and after they meet, they will be incapable of reproducing with each other even if they happen to meet again. At this stage we say that two new species have been formed. So we can say that there is a new two species are formed. So dear student, today we learn about the evolution, variation in the population. In that three situations are there: situation number 1, situation number 2 and 3, as well as we learn about the acquired traits and inherited trait and speciation. So today this is all about the today's portion. If you like my video, then like and subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching.